In the letters or the correspondence that Leeuwenhoek made to the Royal Society, he enclosed some of the specimens which he'd observed through his microscope. Amazingly, nobody in the Royal Society actually opened these envelopes to see what the specimens contained, and on Leeuwenhoek's death, his collection of microscopes that he also passed on to the Royal Society were not used to look at the specimens. Partly that's because it required a lot of expertise to really get the most out of these very simple microscopes. But recently, Brian Ford undertook a study to see what was actually contained in the letters. And he was amazed to find when he opened these envelopes, these beautifully fine shavings of cork that had been made with a cutthroat razor that was very, very sharp. And Leeuwenhoek must have been very accomplished to be able to cut incredibly fine sections by hand from the cork, because the material has to be very thin for the light to be able to pass through it. And not only was there cork, but there was also other plant specimens, that sections that have survived several hundred years just in a storeroom. And Brian Ford was able to put these onto Leeuwenhoek's microscopes and observe through them to see what Leeuwenhoek should have been able to see, and then take those same specimens and look through modern microscopes as well as electron microscopes and look under much higher magnification. One of the really exciting things was on a piece of pith, which were these polygonal cells which appear to be sort of empty and stacked together like soap bubbles. There was a little black spot sitting in one of the cells, and he thought, I wonder what that is. And when you look at it under higher magnification and higher magnification, suddenly you can see that this little black spot actually is a cell. And surrounding that little black spot were even tinier spots that are only visible once you reach very high magnification. And the smaller spots were actually bacteria. So it's thought that in the preparation of this cork or the pith specimen, that whoever it was that cut them was suffering from a cold at the time and sneezed, and cells in the sneeze were deposited onto the specimen, so that were blood cells as well as the bacterial cells that were contained in the person who was cutting the section.